Point is, cursing can make a character hilarious, witty, intimidating, or broken, but when everyone is cursing with no purpose other than the fact they think cursing equals funny or mature, it just becomes noise. An unbearable noise at that.
So, what do you think?
I'm sorry, what the fuck was that?
I was telling the truth. I was telling my truth.
Hello everyone, 'tis I, the one and only Wolf. So, a lot of you liked my previous video talking about the cursing in Hazbin Hotel and Helluva Boss.
Fuck! Fucking dick!
Fuck you! What the fuck?
Fucks. I'm fucking Adam, little cunt! The ungrateful whore!
If you don't remember, I said that cursing is used in many ways to express emotions that reflect a character's personality, growth, and background, and how some shows use it right, and how these shows often use it wrong. But looking back and looking through some of your comments, I feel like I didn't go deep enough. In particular, how these shows use cursing to reflect their characters and how they use it to enhance their comedic moments. Cursing can definitely enhance comedy when it's used cleverly, because regardless of the dramatic effect, both these shows are clearly using it as a comedic tool. But instead of enhancing the scenes or reflecting the characters, it feels overdone and it fails to match who these characters are supposed to be. By the way, same rules again. 1. It's just my opinion, and you have the right to disagree with me. 2. I will only curse once throughout this entire video. 3. My opinion is always correct, and there's nothing you can do about it. Okay, let's get into it. Now, in my last video, I talked about how cursing can reflect a character, and made comparisons with other characters such as Tywin Lannister and the Hound. But I didn't talk as much about the characters in the Helluverse, because let's get one thing clear. I understand fully why Hazbin and Helluva Boss characters would curse, some more than others. Such as Angel Dust being a drug-addicted porn star, hence his rude and sleazy persona, but is also suffering from abuse. Luna, a sad goth girl who has abandonment issues and finds it hard trying to bond with people. Husk, a gambling alcoholic who sold his soul to Alistair and is often miserable because of his choice. Blitzo, a wacky self-loathing degenerate with deep regret and trauma. And Cherry Bomb and Mammon, who are both Australian. Do I need to say any more? The point is, it would make sense why these shows would have cursing in them. Like I said before, cursing is used in the real world. So if these shows are trying to tackle adult themes with a cartoonish vibe to it, it makes sense they would curse. But they still overdo it, and just have them curse for the sake of it. Just take the demon nobility seen in Helluva Boss. So in my last video, I mentioned that Tywin Lannister never seems to curse in Game of Thrones. And the reason for that was because he was a lord of a powerful and prestigious house. The same factor did apply with most other nobles seen throughout the show, and the reason for that is that cursing was always often seen as uncivilized and unintelligent, which was affiliated with lower class standing. So the nobles would obviously refrain from speaking such profanity. In Helluva Boss, it's shown that hell is built on a strict class system, with races such as imps and hellhounds being the lower class, and Ars-Goetic demons and sins being the higher. So you would expect that nobles would try and act like nobles and not speak any profanity, because they don't want to be seen as lower class. And when they would curse, they would do it in heated moments to express their emotional outbursts. In episode 2, Lululand, the first 2 minutes was a flashback of Stolas singing his daughter to sleep. Then it cuts to the present.
You slept with an imp in our fucking bed!
It wasn't expected. I didn't have time to go to a motel.
A motel? Like a fucking plebeian who wants to fuck this one too?
No, of course not.
You are a goddamn embarrassment. I'm not spending another moment looking at your pathetic, imp-sucking face! Fuck's sake! All your useless...
This scene was absolutely hilarious, because we were shown a happy, wholesome song from Stolas, then we're shoved right into the chaotic marriage drama between Stella and Stolas. Stella's cursing is justified because she's furious at Stolas for cheating on her with an imp. She feels betrayed and embarrassed. In the moment of emotional outburst, it would make sense for her to drop that upper-class facade and unleash her anger. This was a great use of cursing and shock value used to enhance a scene. But later on in other episodes, we see with Stella and other nobles that this is not the case, as they seem to curse just as casually as the imps.
Son, is this one? There's so fucking many. Won't you cease this bitch crying?
I swear to fuck, he just lays there staring at, pretending to want to fuck his scrawny twig ass. What a pathetic fucking man!
witch!
Hello, for fuck's sake, stop making this harder to bullshit.
Now you fucking know!
Shut the fuck up. No, motherfuck! Seriously?
It breaks that illusion of nobility and higher standing with nobles trying to be seen as more civilized when they curse just as common as commoners. The shocking scene of episode 2 of Stella raging at Stolas just becomes a typical moment of Stella because she's always seen to be either cursing a lot or just angry at Stolas. If they wanted nobles to insult each other, they should have had them do so by showing off their wit and pretentious attitude, while only cursing in small, simple doses.
I am the king! I will punish you.
Any man who must say, I am the king, is no true king.
He ever told you what happened to him? No one threatens his grace in the presence of the king's guard.
I'm not threatening the king, sir. I am educating my nephew. Braun, the next time Sir Merwin speaks, kill him. That was a threat. See the difference?
Is that the best you could do, Starscream? And to think you actually believed you could take over as leader of the Decepticons. You couldn't lead a parade.
Because having a posh English accent doesn't instantly make that character sophisticated. They need to act sophisticated too. And there's nothing sophisticated in cursing like a
Fucking plebeian!
Now, already I can hear the people in the comments saying, it's set in hell. The most common argument when talking about the cursing in these shows. Well, let me just tell you the problem with that argument. So, hell is a horrible place, and from what we see in both shows, most of its population lives in an extreme version of a large, poor and crime-ridden area. They would most likely act like people who live in these kinds of places in the modern world. So it would make sense if they would be offensive, and if cursing helps them in offending people, that would make sense too. But at the same time, they are very safe. People already said this before about these shows being safe edgy, and yeah, they are. They don't say any racial slurs, derogatory terms, or anything that would ruffle feathers. All the insults are the basic and common ones that you'd expect. The most offensive thing I've heard them say is the "see you next Tuesday" one. You will never hear them say sexist or homophobic jokes or insults. Though the last one kinda makes sense, since apparently every character seems to be LGBTQ. It almost seems like there are no straight people in hell. Wait a minute. A perfect example is this scene.
5 years. How the fuck you fuck up that bad anyway, titty haver?
Oh, I can't spell. I can't read either.
The Hellbees shot, you fucking really can't say that word anymore. The appointment is under blitz.
This makes no sense. If hell is a place where everyone is bad and no one is innocent, why wouldn't he be able to say that anymore? As expected, some of you might say it's because the R word is ableist and can be offensive to disabled people, and Blitz didn't want to be offensive. He's a fucking assassin! How more offensive could you get? In the first episode, when he was paid to kill a mother, and Moxie was concerned saying,
Wait, are we actually killing a family? No, don't be a puss. We're just killing a mother. We're ruining a family.
So yeah, Blitz trying to be inoffensive makes no sense for his character, or character development, because we don't see him in early episodes of him trying to be a better person. Now, I understand that the R word is offensive to some people, and YouTube and 14-year-old girls would probably not be happy with Vivzy that it was included in this episode. So I understand the reasoning to avoid it. But couldn't they have just censored it, or better yet, have it cut off?
The Hellbees shot, you fucking
Because it doesn't make sense for Blitz, a degenerate assassin who murders children and harasses his staff, trying to avoid being offensive. I may murder children and families for money, stalk and harass my co-workers, burn down a theme park because of an old rival, publicly say that I slept with your husband, but saying the R word, that's too far.
Professionals have standards.
Quite odd too, because in the pilot episode he does say it.
He's our boss!
No, it's fine, Mills. Your husband is just, how do I say this without being offensive? Retarded.
Besides him being a politically correct murderer, the rest of the scene is a perfect example of the overload of curse words. Now, I understand why Blitz as a character would curse, and how he is really based off his voice actor Brandon Rogers, who, if you've watched his videos, will know that he curses a lot.
We all have a lot of laughs.
Fuck off, Janet. I'm not going to your fucking baby shower.
But the scene is really just tiring and unfunny. I understand that Blitz is meant to be annoyed in this moment, but he really does just overdo it. It's just F-bomb after F-bomb with no build-up and so no punch. But in all in fairness, it makes sense why Blitz would curse a lot. But what about someone who shouldn't curse, such as Charlie? Charlie is essentially meant to be a Disney princess, but being the princess of hell. She's hopeful, naive, adorkable, whilst everyone around her is the opposite.
Hi, mister.
Go fuck yourself!
In the pilot episode of Hazbin Hotel, Charlie curses a total of 3 times. The first as a petty insult, the second quoting her dad, and the third was just casual, all of which were used right. The first was when she was being mocked by Katie Killjoy.
Yeah, well, how does it feel that I got your pen, huh? Bitch! Oops.
This was hilarious and fits with her character being naive and good-natured. It's especially funny with Katie Killjoy's reaction and Charlie's realization that she's just poked a bear. The second time, of course, was when she was quoting her dad.
Picked up one thing from my dad. You don't take shit from other demons.
And it made sense, because Vaggie was warning her about talking to Alistair, and Charlie used her dad's quote to reassure herself. The third time was when she used it casually.
Oh, Al, you're sketchy as fuck, and you clearly see what I'm trying to do here as a joke.
Most likely to come off as confident when speaking with a powerful and infamous overlord. Not much, but it's simple, and I never got the impression that it ruined her Disney princess persona. And it came off as kinda cute. So the pilot episode used Charlie's cursing correctly and grounded in her character. The show, however, not really. She curses a lot more casually, and she just sounds like your average Hellborn, which contradicts that her character is meant to be she's from hell, but she seems and feels out of place, because she is the daughter of an angel and supposedly acts like one too. Unlike the pilot, where it looked as if she cursed for specific and understandable reasons, the show she just curses cause, I don't know, it was funny? Speaking of funny, there is one of Charlie's scenes that I mentioned before, but I felt like I didn't explain enough of it. And that was my problem with the scene at the Heaven's Court, because it could have been funny. In this scene, Charlie's trying to convince the council to keep observing Angel Dust because she believes that he will make a good moral decision, and in doing so, it will prove her point that a sinner can improve. And when they allow it, Charlie is overjoyed and she says,
"Court will allow it."
Fuck yes!
This was intended to be a hilarious emotional response. The only problem is that Adam had been cursing plenty of times before Charlie cursed.
Give me a fucking minute, okay? Let's fucking see it, bruh. We don't have hard days. It's fucking heaven, bitch.
So it sapped all the shock value and comedic punch that this could have had. If there had been no curse words up to this point, it would have been funnier and realistic, because at a formal event like a hearing, people don't curse because it's immature and rude. But as a result of Adam's cursing, there's no build-up, and the joke doesn't land. A good example of a build-up would be this scene from the Inbetweeners film, with Mr. Gilbert. Gilbert is the head teacher of the main character's form, and he's best described as someone who hates his job and every student around him, and it's why he has some of the funniest moments in the show. As for the cursing, he does curse a few times, but for the most part, he holds back. He is a teacher after all, and teachers shouldn't curse at students. But in the film where he's giving a speech to the graduating students, he goes all out, saying he doesn't care about them, and he never will.
I will forget each and every one of you almost immediately. So, if you do find yourself at a loose end next year, I think it might be nice to pop in and see how we're getting on. Don't. I especially don't want to hear about how well you're settling down at uni or how much growing up you've done in the past 12 months. At best, I am ambivalent towards most of you, but some of you I actively dislike for no other reason than your poor personal hygiene or your irritating personalities. I hope I've made myself clear on this point, and in case any of you think I'm joking, I'm not. I assure you that once my legal obligation to look after your best interest is removed, I can be one truly nasty fucker.
This scene was absolutely hilarious, because for starters, it's a formal event, and you expect a good luck and farewell from the teacher these students have known for so long, but instead, you've got him expressing his disdain for the students, as he always has. To the eventual payoff with him cursing makes this scene all the more funnier. If he had been cursing before, or if one of the students was cursing, it would have ruined the scene and the payoff wouldn't have been funny. Finally, the last character I wanted to talk about is Adam. I may have an unpopular opinion on this, because so many people love this guy and say he's the actual hero of the show, which I'm not going to deny, but I can't stay quiet. I don't like this character, like at all. Thanks to this guy over here, I discovered or at least confirmed, that Adam curses more times than any other character in Hazbin Hotel. No brainer. Adam's constant F-bombs and dick jokes is honestly just annoying. There is probably 1 or 2 moments he made me exhale through my nose, but for the most part he doesn't come off as intimidating or funny. He just comes off as immature and cookie-cutter evil, which is odd for someone who is meant to be in heaven and has existed for 10,000 years, 930 of which were spent on Earth. His first wife ran off with the devil, his second wife ate the forbidden fruit, which got them both kicked out of paradise, and he witnessed his own son kill his other son. And somehow, through all of that, he acts like your modern-day dude bro who listens to alpha male podcasts. People are going to say that this fits with his character. I'm just going to say, how? Now, I'm going to stop before I go insane, because this guy is getting his own video in the future. That is guaranteed. He has a great song and voice actor though, I will say that. Now, before I end this video, I will say that not every character in the Helluverse curses. Some don't at all, and I'm glad they don't. But my problem is not the fact that they curse, it's the frequency and the timing of its cursing. It often fails to enhance the scenes, either comedic or dramatic, and it fails to characterize its characters. And while I may be late to say this, since the second season is probably wrapping up its production, and so most of the writing is probably done, I hope at least the writers had learnt that the cursing is excessive and problematic, but has an easy and fixable solution. Just tone it down a bit. Use it when it fits the scenes and the characters. Cursing can be a helpful tool in writing dialogue and characters, but it should never be used as a filler. Anyway, that's enough of me now. See y'all!